we've invited Jenefer Bobbin, the founder of Yardstick, an effective tool to measure impact to help you know more about your business and to find out what works and what doesn't by using very simple analytical tools. So ladies and gentlemen, I'd like you to give a warm, warm round of applause to Ms. Bobbin, who's traveled all the way from the UK to be with us here this evening.
Hi, I've just got 2 more people joining me. We're just bringing a couple of chairs up, so if you just bear with me a second. Actually, I'll start and then they can bring in, yeah. Right, so we're going to look at why measuring impacts. Monitoring is the next step in sustainability. It will take you to the next level. It's about being transparent and being honest with your customers. I'm going to start with a little bit of a story of my hotel here. I have a sign in my room that says, bed sheets in hotels, if washed on a daily basis, use up millions of gallons of water. I'm then asked to put the sign on my bed if I don't want my sheets changed on a daily basis. I didn't find this sign until 2 days into my stay. I do have a know my sheets weren't changed because the room steward complained to me for being too tidy and making my bed, and so he had nothing to do. But I do believe even though I was hanging my towels up every day, they were still changing them on a daily basis. Now, if I had had a sign next to my bed that had actually told me how many litres per bed night that hotel had saved last year from guests not changing their bed or by reusing their towels, it would actually give me more confidence that the hotel was actually being honest with me and they were actually honestly trying to save water rather than just putting a bland statement out there. We've got the UN Sustainable Goals. This here, basically the UN Sustainable Goals, this next step on from the Millennium Development Goals, they say they're based on accountability, monitoring and evaluation. To reach these goals, every business, regardless of size, has to monitor their impacts. Without actually monitoring, these goals won't be reached, and I think so it's everybody's responsibility to monitor their impact. Okay, what to measure? A lot of businesses that I've worked with, they're scared. Data scares them. You know, Excel sheets scare them. And what I've said to everybody is forget impacts, forget what you've been told about indicators, and actually just monitor what is special to you or what is easy. So just pick a topic that is easy to monitor and start small on that. Most people will start on either operations or labour. Operations is easy. You get either your fuel meters, your electricity meter, or you've got your bills. And it's just a case of every month or weekday, wherever you want to do it, collecting that data. Labour is another easy one. A lot of the data goes to the accountant, so you'll have that data already. One thing you must do is you must make sure that your monitoring isn't extra. It has to be into your daily working life. So try to reuse data that's already out there. You will find actually most of the data that you need to monitor sustainability is actually already in the daily working. Okay, so with monitoring, data does appear everywhere. Certifications, a lot of businesses want certifications. It's the sort of customer-facing side of sustainability. I mean, certification schemes are quite opaque, so it is quite difficult to find out what each one requires. But from the ones that I've been able to research, there is always a level of data that is required. You know, whether they want to know whether you're reducing your fuel consumption, water consumption, they do usually ask you to do some form of regular monitoring. If you decide to go down a reporting route, that obviously does have data. It allows you to report on your data, so your data is there for publicly seeing. And then we go to the tools that are out there in the market to help you monitor. Unfortunately, this area of the market is quite small. A lot of the tools out there are really, really expensive and really, really complex. There are a few free tools out there. We've got Measurable, which is small, got a freemium, and also Yardstick has a freemium. Also, Excel. I think 45% of customers, 45% of businesses still use Excel to monitor, which is found out in an Ernst & Young survey a few years ago. Right, Tiger Mountain. So I've been working with Tiger Mountain since 2009, monitoring. These are a few of the results, but I'm actually going to invite Ishwal now to give you a brief introduction on how they introduce monitoring at the lodge. Ishwal is the accountant.
Thank you, Jenefer. Namaste, I'm Jenefer Bobbin from Tiger Mountain Private Limited in Pokhara, the most beautiful city in Nepal. Well, talking about the measurement, we're so excited about the concept of the measuring the impacts. When we started the measurement, it was quite new to Nepal, and what we found is you don't need to be an IT expert for that. You you need to be a basic knowledge of the computer. That's all, and it won't take ample time of your valuable time. It just about 1.5 hour in a month, and you don't need to hire a person for it, separate person, extra person for it. And a responsible person will do it. And when we started with monitoring our fuel consumption, and as it was easier to compare and with our fuel bills. And next we started labor monitoring as we could use that data provided to our accounts. Then the next was monitoring charity, which involved more employees. It was everyone's responsibilities to monitor their own reactions. Now we are just beginning to introduce supply chain in our monitoring. I think the measuring is the key point, because you need to know and you need to quantify your contribution and the impacts. Thank you.
So the next slide is Village Ways, and I've asked Manisha to come and explain the benefits of monitoring impacts.
Good evening, everyone. I think in the last year when I had presented, I had actually given a small presentation about the data collection work that we had started. And we have observed that when we introduce any livelihood generation activity in a village or a community, with the flow of income into the village, there are a couple of challenges which you can see from time to time. And what helps the most is when there is a very transparent system of income distribution and recording. And formally, we started documenting our evidences and our data from 2013. But it was not reaching to any destination until and unless it was actually analyzed. And I think once we introduced Just Report and they helped us with the analysis, they gave us directions on how this could be collected in a simple system which could be managed by the local community, so that it does not become a very difficult affair to collect the data each year. And we have seen that this has not only helped us as an organization, but it has also helped the communities in a great deal, because a lot of their internal conflicts which they expected when the income dispersals from their own side to the other members of the team were started, this helped them to remove these conflicts, because all the data analysis that we do are actually collected by the community at their level, and it is when it is analyzed, the data is shared by the community. For us, it's very easy to trace how the incomes are reaching each household level. And so it's very easier for us to manage the equal distribution of the income. And for any like-minded organization or any anyone else who would like to replicate, of course, a data analysis does help to showcase what we've been doing. So I think these are just few. There are many more benefits which I can explain, but because of the limited time, I'm just been focused on these. Thank you.
Thank you very much.